family. Welcome back to the Get for Life, Get It Together for Life podcast. I'm your host, Kalita Quinn, and you know I want to see you win. That's why every opportunity we get, we are here giving you the guidance, insight, and tools you need to glow, inspire, and thrive. And today, let me tell you, we are in for a mega treat because we are literally sitting in the studio of the Grammy Award-winning songwriter, producer, any instrument you name playing, Kelvin Wooten. We are so glad that you've accepted our invitation and allowed us into your home. Man, this is phenomenal. I cannot go any further without congratulating you on your recent Grammy Award with Jasmine Sullivan. How does that feel?
It feels good. It feels good, to know that you create things not for Grammys, you're not for any awards, accolades, just to create for the simple fact that we were created. I think we all have creative abilities, we're created to do something, we have a purpose. And to see that manifest into something that my peers, because the Recording Academy is just a group of other producers, songwriters, and engineers, and that vote.
Yeah.
And so that they will vote on my work that I created right here in the basement. It feels good.
That's so beautiful. I mean, and what does it feel like to know, because you're a visionary, obviously, right? You are literally creating the soundtracks of people's lives. You get to hear the music and then later on it's going to bring somebody through something that is, maybe they're going through and it's a struggle, say, for example, with Jasmine Sullivan's album, or it's going to make them dance or whatever the case may be. How do you start that process?
That process usually starts at about 7, 8 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
Coming in the basement, I treat the process of creativity. Now, I wouldn't say that I did this before, but I kind of treat it like a 9 to 5. I give it a lot of parameters because I know that my inspiration, everything that inspires me about music is not the music itself. It's conversations with people, it's family, it's the drive from Athens to Huntsville.
Okay.
So I have to allot time for all of those things to exist. Because the part that I love doing the most, you're not gonna stop me making music. It's like a bird is gonna fly. That's the inevitable. It's all the other things that are needed for fulfillment.
Yeah.
So I try to create this parameters of like a Monday through Friday, taking the weekends off to reflect, kick it with the family, do all that kind of
That's
stuff.
so dope to hear because, a lot of times, people want to start, they want to get into music and they probably feel like, oh, I can just do it anytime or, I'll do it at 2 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock in the morning. But it is so awesome to hear that, no, it's dedication and, you work it like it's any other job.
Yeah. Because I feel like when you create those parameters, there's something to say about the corporate world or the world that isn't creative. You're able to scale a lot of times how much success you've had. I'm able to, if I go, when I wasn't going Monday through Friday to 9 to 5, and I was just making it whenever I felt like it, I couldn't really say how much I got done. But within the hours of 9 to 5 every day, I kind of make parameters for myself.
Sure.
It's like, I want to do this, and I don't always hit the mark. But I can look back on a Friday or look back on Sunday, looking back at the past week and say, okay, I did 15 this week. That was good. I can look at it and say, and I can also say, it's like, with all these things that I had set in place, what is it that I need to change?
Yeah.
But it's just, if it's no parameters, it's so fluid. For me, and I'm not knocking anybody else that does, no disrespect to anybody else.
Sure.
But for me, I like to have checklists and say, man, I achieved this week. And those are the bigger joys. That's bigger than the Grammys. Like, man, to look back on Sunday, it's like, man, I got 25 songs done this week.
Wow.
I'm like, yeah, that's great. I got 30 done. Man, what did I do to get 30 done?
Yeah.
I said,
That's
let's
so
do that
cool.
again, yeah.
When you're creating music, do you have a certain person in mind or are you just, it's just organically flowing? What does that look like for you?
What's crazy is I'm more so than the person I'm making the music for, it's people that inspire me. I think about them.
Okay.
People like that mentor me. It's like, so I have a good friend by the name of Symbolic One S1. He's a producer too. He's produced for Kanye.
Shout out.
He did Power. He did Beyonce's Best I Never Had. Watch the Throne, stuff with Jay-Z. He's done tons of stuff. Really good friend of mine. So I'm doing drums, I'm programming on something. I'm like, I want if S1 but like this. That's what I'm thinking about. I'm not even thinking. I'm wondering if my peers.
Yeah.
I got a good friend by the name of Cardiac who we did Jasmine Sullivan, her. And who I work with all the time. I'm just in trying to impress my friends. You
Yeah.
know? It's like we're out here, like we're on the basketball court hooping and we're sparring with one another.
Look, iron sharpens iron,
Yeah,
right? So you're
exactly.
just looking at
Yeah.
other excellent folks that are out
Yeah.
there in the industry and creating more excellence.
Exactly. So when we get excited about it, then we're excited to send it.
Yeah.
We're excited to let other people hear it. And then, I would say within a week, it's 15, 20 songs being done.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people, it's like, man, how do you get that many done? But it's that process of not really looking up and just keeping your head down and working. And when the people see the placements, they may see a placement here this month or twice this month, a song here and there. But they don't know, man, it's been 800 songs that's been sent.
Exactly. In between
Not
the time.
not just recorded, but
Yeah.
actually sent to people. So it's a lot of shots that were missed.
So let me ask you that, because that's really interesting that you say that. And of course, you would expect there to be, everything can't be amazing and and Grammy Award-winning, right?
Yeah.
But is there something that happens to you where like, oh shoot, I got a hard one here?
Probably more so a process.
Okay.
There's something that I do in a process. It's like, man, I figured out a new way to do something. That's like, I should kind of stay on this course. It's something that feels divine about it because you run across it divine. You didn't, it wasn't something that you were looking for. You just ran across this idea of like, man, there's a way I can do this. Let me just keep doing this over and over and over. And then what happens is for all those songs that didn't make it, I was trying that process so I got 300 songs that sound exactly like the ones that everybody hears. But I was working that process out.
You were perfecting
on
it.
each one.
Yeah.
And so those aren't failures to me. Those are always just stepping stones to, And at some point in time, someone else could hear that same song of those 300 that didn't make it 5 years later and be like, oh, that's really cool,
Wow.
Because a lot of the songs that we do and work on, sometimes they're 2 years old, sometimes they're 3 years old. Yeah.
Okay. When did you know that God had given you something special? Like, was it early in life, where you when did you realize you had an ear for music and you could hear things that other people couldn't?
When I realized that all my friends that was into music and could play basketball and I couldn't play basketball.
Okay. You was like, I'm not going to be a baller.
When I couldn't be who, I said, well, okay, it definitely ain't this.
Okay.
And I made A's in elementary school, but I'm like, a lot of stuff is you just showing up.
Yeah.
You just show up, you can make an A.
Facts.
I started getting in college, and I'm like, yeah, it wasn't straight A's. I was like, okay, yeah, I ain't cut out to be no computer scientist. Yeah, let's find something else. And I think I realized it when in high school. My high school band director, he's James Reginald Jackson. A lot of people in the Huntsville area know him. Saxophonist, keyboard player, great, best teacher in the world in my opinion.
Love that.
And he just sparked something in me. He showed me a process and how I could learn how to play. But I took that process and I just ran with it. He gave me something one day, I absorbed that energy from what he said like a sponge. I was like, oh, give me something else. And so for my 4 years in high school, I realized, I was like, yeah, this is gonna be something I'm probably gonna wanna do. I'm gonna have to forsake basketball. I'm just not the one.
No basketball career for Wooten.
And
Right.
Yeah, none whatsoever.
Well, look, we are definitely benefiting on this side of it because otherwise we wouldn't have all of the amazing hits that you have been able to put into the market. So let's talk about your inspiration a little bit. We talked about how you realized, okay, I'm not going to be a ball player, so I'm going to be a musician. Like, was there someone in your life who maybe started you out playing all of these instruments, or when was the first time you picked up an instrument?
First time I picked up an instrument was, my dad.
Okay.
My dad worked at NASA. He had a friend named Herb. I think this guy's name is Herb.
Shout out to Herb, maybe.
Yeah, Herb.
Okay.
Maybe his name is Herb. But anyway, my dad's friend had a trumpet. And he gave my dad a trumpet. And I was like, I don't know why he gave my dad a trumpet. I think my dad saw some sort of interest in music. So I took the trumpet and would play around with it. So I used to take that trumpet to church. I went to I grew up in a Pentecostal church.
Yes.
If you know, there really ain't room for one trumpet in Pentecostal church.
Right.
But,
that's so funny.
Yeah.
Because you're right, you ain't never heard.
Yeah, but a friend of mine sent some pictures a couple of days ago. And it was some pictures of like, man, look at these old pictures of us in church. And the band had to wear choir robes and all that kind of stuff.
Wait,
and
what?
Okay.
I'm
looking and I'm like, why am I holding a trumpet? And I said, oh, I remember this. This was crazy just a couple of days ago. But I noticed I just wanted to be a part of the band.
Yeah.
And so my first liking for music was mom just taking me to church. You know, Wednesday night Bible study, Friday night Bible study, Sunday school, Sunday morning service, Sunday night service.
Yes, all week long.
All 8 days.
Yes, because look, any kid who grew up in the church environment, like you know what that looks like, and so man, like respect, definitely.
So, just some of my mentors. I remember a guy. He was one of my mentors at the boys' club. He also went to the church. He was the pastor's son, Reginald Burrell.
Okay.
He was also my soccer coach. And I was pretty decent at soccer. I could have.
Still money in soccer, right?
I could have done soccer.
Okay.
But he was my soccer coach. But he was also the drummer at church, and he played keyboards too. And I just remember him just kind of showing me around. But this was before high school, and I just knew then it's like, man, this is something.
Yeah.
This is something because I like it, And as kids, we just like stuff. It's toys to us. It's something that we play with. But I think as adults, we think that we're supposed to lose that for some reason. I think as adults, we should get in more in the mindset. That's something that I always work towards every day. It's like, man, how can I get back to that place where I just play with these instruments like they were toys?
It sounds like you're a person who like really takes learning seriously. Earlier we were talking about just your musicianship, and you mentioned that if there's something you didn't know how to play, you would just learn how to play it because you wanted that sound.
Yeah. Once I realized, because back in the day, technology was just forming to where you could have all these instrument sounds on one keyboard.
Yeah.
But I got more experimental. It's like, well, this says trumpet or tuba or something like that. But what does a real tuba look like? It says it's written here on it, but then when I see a real tuba, it's like, oh, wow. And this sounds better than what it sounds like on this little $90, $95 keyboard. Let me try to take a shot at that.
Okay.
And so I took a shot at the tuba, and that was an instrument that I played.
So trumpet, tuba. Look, look, I wish we could just put like a list down on the side of the screen or something, but it would fill up very quickly, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of stay in the brass instruments.
Okay.
Tuba, baritone, all my and that was my scholarship in college, that paid my way through school.
Wow.
So tuba, I marched in the band at A&M.
Yeah.
Shout out to MMW.
Shout out to A&M.
Yeah.
Look, so just coming from all of those experiences, like what would you tell someone who is maybe, they're seeing this or they're inspired by, they have an itch to create some music, like taking what you know about learning every day, right? What would your advice be to a young person who, maybe wants to get into this industry?
Just keep it fun, just always continue to have fun, day in and day out, there's always going to be things in the industry that's going to challenge you to say, oh, you can make more money doing this.
Yeah.
You can do more if you do this on your Instagram page, and you can get more followers. And a lot of those things are although they're important, it's just like the most important thing is that you're enjoying and you're having fun. The kids that I see around me, and I have a few, mentor, like kids that I mentor, and I just see them just have a joy and passion for it, and they do so well at it. And I don't think they know how well they're doing, but I'm just looking at like, man, how do you know how to do that so well?
Wow.
Like, because they find the time you always find a time to do something that you enjoy doing.
Yeah.
So, and it's very super practical, it's, if you don't enjoy doing it, don't do it. Find something else to do.
Absolutely. One of the things that I've told myself is like, it changes the dynamic for you when you change your relationship to it. So if you think about something, you're like, I have to do it. Then it feels like a chore. It feels like an obligation.
Right.
But if you look at it like, I get to do this. And I think that's what you do with your passions, right? Yeah. You're like, I get to find time to work on this new instrument or try out this new sound on the keyboard.
Yeah. For anyone that says, and I've said this a lot of times, anybody and I try not to self-proclaim anything.
Okay.
I try to let everyone else that says, oh, he's a great producer. Oh, is that what I'm doing? Because to me, I was just, honestly, when I got into production, that's what it was. I didn't know I was a producer until a check was cut.
Wow.
For being a producer. I was like, oh, that's what I've been doing? Because I was just having fun.
Wow.
Just playing instruments and putting sounds and stuff like that together. So it's just always just a must just to, that the enjoyment and passion is always stay connected.
Absolutely. Look, and you've had so much success right here in your hometown, right? Because you're from Huntsville, you're from this area. So what do you say to people who think, oh man, I got to go to a bigger city to be able to get out there and to be seen? Like, is that true from your perspective, or what would you say to that person?
Probably not so much now, not to be seen. I think in the earlier parts of my career, it definitely helped for me to travel quite a bit. the things, or at least were the things that I'm doing now. And I didn't aspire to do the things that I'm doing. I just aspired to have music and have. I think my path just took me to where I had to leave.
Yeah.
You know, I would have been just as fine staying and doing it, but yeah, I mean, it's for different things. You know, I think for me, I'm inspired by me being in the South and being in Huntsville.
Okay.
You know, I just feel like there's nothing holding me from making and creating music here.
Yeah.
And if I feel like it is, then I move. But then a lot of times people move and then they find out it's like, well, I'm not doing any more creating here than I was at home. And it's like, boy, I spent a whole, I ran through a whole lot of money just to find out I could have stayed where I was.
Look, exactly. Jump what the old folks say, jump out the pot into the fire.
Yeah, exactly. So the South, Huntsville is just inspiring to me, you know. And it could be to someone else, it's like, I hate it here, you know. I want to go somewhere else. I want to be in a culture where it's, you know, and that's not me. You know, it's always, you know, I'm more of an introvert than I am an extrovert, you know. And I think I'm a little bit of both, but those parts of me that are introverted like to be to myself and create and think and overthink and just do those things.
Oh, you got some of that too, huh?
Yeah. I think we all do.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
You know, shouts out to those that don't, that just,
I mean, can just go and make a decision and be done with it, right?
Man, I wish I could, but I like being in the privacy of home and just like, man, let me just see if this works. I like throwing a lot of things against the wall to see if they work.
Yeah. What are you most proud of? Like, if is that a fair question? Because I feel like you've done so many amazing things that, you know, a lot of us could never even imagine. Like, if there's something that you could.
Well, I'm most proud of, my daughter is going to be 20. She's going to be 22 soon.
I love it.
I'm proud that she is about to graduate from college. I'm proud that she is a musician too.
Awesome.
I'm proud that she is living her best life, because she's a big inspiration for me. You know, that was a lot of times in just growing, just me excelling in my career. It's always something I had to look at. Like, man, am I being a good father too?
Right.
Man, does she have what she needs for school? Am I spending enough time with her? Like, I'm always checking that as I'm going up. And, you know, and sometimes she would check with me. It's like, Dad, we need to spend some more time, you know.
I love it. Well, I love that that's your answer, because I'm like, it just talks about the core of you as a person. Like, outside of all of this, right, because that's purpose, but you're more focused on, well, what's the legacy I'm leaving in my daughter?
Yeah, I mean, and if you have, and for all people, especially fathers, if you got kids, if you don't know what you're supposed to do with your life, if you have a child, you know you're supposed to inspire that person, you know you're supposed to raise that person to the best of your ability. Like, if you don't know what else to do with your life, you know you got that.
Come on, message,
you know,
right.
You know, it's a given. And a lot of times what we're supposed to do with our life, because now we have children, we find out. And it's funny, when I keep saying I tell people, that's something my dad does. He always say, I tell people, like, and I can hear him saying that. But it really is the truth. I mean, like, if you don't know as a man what to do with your life, just have some kids. All of a sudden, you automatically now have a purpose to be a father, to be the best parent you can be. And I feel like a lot of things that you need to find, that you want to find out with where your life needs to go.
Yeah.
Take care of home base.
Have some kids and take care of them.
You know.
Hallelujah.
Exactly. One of the large parts,
right?
Exactly. One of the large parts of me not moving and leaving Huntsville was because I had a daughter.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't. It didn't feel like a trap to me. I was very passionate about being a father. You know, it was, you know, or at least I had to find some.
Yeah.
You know, and so it kind of directed me. It's like, well, okay, I can't do music this way. I'm in Huntsville, so then well, I can do some things like this on the weekend, or I can do some things like this, and here and there, and it just kind of shaped and molded how I'm supposed to go. And then as she got older, I got a lot more freedoms, and I said, Lord, if you could just give me the energy, you know, to keep running with these young kids that's doing music today, just give me a good 15, 20-year run.
Well, look, he is blessing you. He is apparently honoring your prayer, and we are so excited that he is and that he's continuing to. What are you working on right now? Anything that you can share with us that, you know, maybe coming out that we should be keeping our ear to the ground for?
What am I working on right now? I'm always working on something.
I'm
jumping from one thing to the next, and I find comfort in doing, you know, multiple projects at once. I'm working on a whole lot with J. Cole right now. You know, he has a lot of music that's coming out. Soon. I'm just gonna say soon.
Awesome.
And it's coming out in various ways. So working with him. But I've been working with him since 2019 on music, so
It's
it's
fluid.
I don't think it's going to stop at this point. I'm working with Kiana Lee, working on some stuff with her, working with Queen Naija on some stuff. Just some stuff that kind of gets me out of my comfort zone too. This is not the R&B that I grew up with.
Yeah.
You know?
What's your favorite thing to do? Like, is it the R&B or is it more soul or what's your favorite, like, whenever somebody calls you and they need something or whenever you just vibing out and you hear something?
My favorite thing has not been, I haven't done yet.
I love that answer.
I actually want to do podcasts.
What? Well, hey, here we are.
Because to be quite honest, like
manifestation, right?
Right. Because honestly, I listen to more podcasts than I listen to music.
Yeah.
I would say 90% of what I consume audibly is podcasts. Just learning or discovering something. I feel like I'm never gonna quit exploring music, but I listen to so much music during the day.
That's gonna be a dope podcast, brother. Like, we can't wait to hear it and support it, and I'm all the way here for it.
Yeah, I don't want to take your spot, but you know what I mean.
Wait a minute, we're doing different things. See, that's the problem right there. Folks start talking about taking your spot right off the top, and it's like we ain't even doing the same thing.
Well, that's what
I ain't
I'm
coming
saying.
here playing your keyboards, brother. Well, thank y'all so much for watching. We've had a great time. Hope you have as well.